All right. We've got Kev with us. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning, Jay. How's it going?
Yeah, Richard Cooper hasn't done you yet, I don't think.
He can't get that Lancashire accent, can he? That's the thing. Struggle with that one.
I see you didn't only lose your passport, you lost your shaver as well, did you?
I'm going to have a shave this morning, Jay. That's what it is, yeah. Just let it grow out for a few days, Just got a big game tonight, so I've got to look my best for that. I think that's the way it is.
Yeah, very good. How's life?
Everything's good, yeah. I travelled from Moscow to Kazan yesterday. So I had a good look round Kazan yesterday, actually. It's, again, unbelievable place. Unbelievable spot, honestly.
Why?
Well, we got out yesterday, went up to the Kremlin. Kremlin that was it was built, God, I couldn't even tell you the year, by Ivan the Terrible. It's like it's a huge fort that he built. It's like something out of a fantasy world. Honestly, the place, how he's like fortified his small little town that he built. Again, I should be able to have the year for you, Jay. I should be able to give you a little bit of history on it, but. Just an amazing place, and how it's been maintained over the years, and how they've looked after it. And then, so it's obviously like it's a free place to get in, have a look around everywhere, and just incredible, just an amazing place. And again, as I've spoken about everywhere else across Russia, people very, very friendly and great, very welcoming. Yeah.
How do you get to Kazan from Moscow? Because it's like I just googled it there. It's an 11-hour drive. Did you fly?
We flew, yeah. I was actually talking to Dan McDonald the other night in Moscow. He was down there. I met Dan. We had a bit of dinner. And Dan is actually arriving in Kazan this evening as well. But Dan's got the train up. So it's a 14-hour train. Oh. But ours was about an hour's flight, I think it was, anyway. So, yeah, I'll be chatting to Dan to exchange stories later on, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's the BBC versus the Independent right there. You got your passport, it's all sorted, you're a free man, you can leave the country anytime you want, right?
Yeah, I can't find it. I've been given a temporary passport at the moment. So I think next Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe I'll have my full passport, but I've got a temporary passport to travel on at the moment. Yeah.
How do you lose your passport?
Have you not been involved in any of the conversations, Owen?
Is this literally the first you've heard of this?
Well, I'm not quite aware how you lost it. I'm aware that you lost it.
He had it stolen on the metro.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
It's getting off the
on what?
No, oh, sorry. Go on, ask your question, Owen, because I wouldn't want to cut across you. Sorry.
I was just going to ask: did you see the suspect? Did you feel your pocket being invaded at any point?
I didn't feel my pocket being invaded, no, but I did feel someone come up behind me for several steps. Yeah, it was a strange scenario. Jay's reaction, he's giving it the old wink. But do you know what? I can honestly say I don't know. That was the last time I remember having a passport, and I hadn't seen it since. It was 24 hours before, and I kind of didn't pay too much attention to it. And that was the only logic solution that I can come up with, to be honest here.
Let's talk football to rescue this slot in particular. So, what are you looking for tonight? It's the Brazil game, right?
Oh, I'm at Germany. I'm at South Korea, Germany this afternoon. Yes. So that's the one I'm at. Yeah. I mean, it's Germany under a bit of pressure after that first game against Mexico. So I expect them to beat South Korea. I think they've got too much of them. I think momentum from that last game. The late goal against Sweden from Toni Kroos, I probably expect a continuation of that, really. Maintain what they probably showed in the last 20, 25 minutes, I think, in that one, because I don't think they were great in the first half against Sweden. I think they were conceding too many chances. But that momentum that they've gained from that now, I expect them to go on and probably get through handily enough here tonight.
They've conceded in all of their last 7 games, Germany have, Kev. To what extent is that just a lack of protection from the midfield, or just a lack of cohesion in the midfield in front of the defence that's leaking goals so much for them at the moment?
Yeah, badly exposed, though, and it's spot on from midfield. Matt Summels, after that Mexico game, first of all, said, look, yeah, we obviously, yeah, good side, he said, but we cannot continue the way we're going, where literally we have 9 players or 8 outfield players just bombing forward, leaving myself and Jerome Boateng exposed defensively. Mexico took a chance on that. Sweden probably took a bit of a chance with that as well. They went a little bit direct at times, put Germany under pressure, and they do look like they're going to concede, but I could probably say the same about every one of the top sides here. I won't necessarily say that France don't like they're going to concede. Brazil don't look like they're going to concede. So it'd be a huge worry if you're a Germany fan, if you're watching Germany thinking, yeah, we're going to go on, we're going to win this World Cup. I think we're going to go on exposed sides, which they can do. They proved that against Sweden, even at times against Mexico, played decent football, but they look badly exposed to me. That's what puts me off Germany massively, more than probably the other ones, because I think they've conceded more chances than a lot of the other better sides in the tournament.
Germany to win, both teams to score is 15-8.
I think it's a good shout. It's a great shout. I think, it's just how they go about defensively, Joe. Yeah, not that it's certainly not something I'd be looking at because out here you can't get onto your account. So anyway,
that's a pity.
Yeah,
a VPN. We'll sort you out with one of those.
Right.
Want to talk briefly about Messi, because obviously we were talking about Marcus Rowe's goals got loads of this is an amazing thing because Marcus Rowe scores and it gets them through, but I was making the point that Leo Messi's goal is actually one of the all-time great World Cup goals because it's one movement, the ball stops, drops dead on his thigh, drops dead on his foot and goes to the one spot that the defender's lunge isn't going to make it, and again the one spot that his right foot can actually whip it in from. It's like absolute perfection from the greatest footballer of all time.
Yeah, I can't argue with anything there. Incredible skill, as you say. First of all, there's a lot of factors within it. Yes, the ball has to be perfect. The timing of the run has to be perfect, which both are absolutely perfect. But then, how many times have we seen it when a ball is played like that? The control just lets the player down, just gets away from them. But for Messi to control it on his thigh, and you even see the way that he's manipulated the ball, he's kind of angled his body, took it across his body, so he knows then full well he's the wrong side of the Nigerian defender. So if the defender is going to make a challenge, he's probably going to give a penalty away. So to put it then back into his path, as you say, he's never going to be able to get it back onto his stronger left foot. So then he's got to whip it across the keeper with his right foot. It was everything about it was total genius. It was an incredible finish, and we've been waiting for Messi to start. That was the thing. We wanted Messi to have a big impact on the tournament. Now all of a sudden he has done. He still wasn't great last night. Watching Argentina again last night. It was desperation stuff for them, really, wasn't it? Trying to find Messi the whole time throughout the game, not able to free him up in decent positions. But that goal was a true moment of magic. Yeah.
It helps as well that they seem to have found a sort of fulcrum in midfield to a certain extent, that surely now against France, Sampaoli cannot leave Ever Banega on the bench.
Well, you look at the bench, got the substitutions they're bringing on last night, though, Owen, as well. Yeah, Banega, yes, they have to play, and it gives them. I think it gives them a bit more balance. It looks to me as well like the players, even at half-time when you've seen them coming out, Mascherano and Messi were kind of leading the huddle before they even got back onto the pitch. It seems like now the players have taken over. It seems about what we're doing on the pitch. We are actually going to have to take over the running or the management of this team. But yet Banega has to start. You're struggling for a goal. You've got to get Dybala into the team. How can you not try to get a Messi and a Dybala into that side? How can you not try and get these creative players playing behind, whether it's Higuain or whether it's Aguero? They've got so much talent from the attacking side. And he's sacrificing, I feel, playing a Dybala, whoever it would be. And then you've got a Banega who can produce unbelievable things as well. They've got a bit of a balanced side. Defensively is where they're going to struggle because they can't stop side scoring against them. They're not going to be able to stop side scoring against them. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Sampaoli's got the balance right of that team at all.
No, like last night's team just doesn't make sense because I think you'd be very hard pressed to find anybody who would disagree with you on the point about Dybala there, because like he's absolutely sensational. He's arguably their second best player, and Lionel Messi was playing on the right-hand side for the opening stages of last night's game. If that was the formation that Jorge Sampaoli is actually setting up his team with, why the hell isn't Dybala playing at number 10?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Owen, I don't understand the logic in it. I don't understand the logic in. I mean, there was talk even before the tournament when we had Tim Vickery on the show. It was probably a month, 6 weeks ago now, whenever it was. Still a doubt whether or not he was actually going to pick Dybala. It's almost like a token gesture to relieve a bit of pressure on him while he's put him in the squad. He's not looking to play him, but you're chasing a goal in the last 20 minutes of the match. You're struggling. You're not playing real decent football. Everything's breaking down. Get him on the pitch. Get that type of player on the pitch because he can do something. And it is crazy. In my mind, it seems crazy.
I wanted to ask you about something that Dan had in the Indo today. Actually, it's a pretty interesting piece of nugget of information that he's worked out, that the majority of the starters in the England team all actually didn't play for top club academies, that most of them played lower league football. I think it's 9 or 10 of the starting 11, which is pretty amazing when you think about it, but actually might be one of the most important things that we kind of, conclusions that we draw from this, is that maybe the academy system isn't really fit for purpose.
Well, I think we ourselves can learn from it. It's something that we've talked about over the years, where it's not necessarily been in top academies now. Getting kids into academies at 15, 16, with the likelihood is they will not make it. That's what it is. So developing our structure over in Ireland it's a necessity, and that's the way that it's been over the last 10 years. But you look over in England, it's the same. I didn't come through one of the top club academies. I came through the bottom tier, played in every single division across England. You look at Harry Kane and his development. Harry Kane was considered or was deemed not good enough when he's gone on loan to Millwall, when he's gone on loan to Leyton Orient, when he's gone on loan to these sides. He's thinking, no, it's not going to happen for him. Tottenham didn't really fancy him, and we're talking when he's 20, 19, 20. He's not as if he's like 17, 18 at this stage. They were thought of Harry Kane, no, he's probably not going to be good enough. He's not quick enough. He's not technically gifted enough, but he's worked at his game. And I think the lads that come through the lower league system, like Jamie Vardy, the story's incredible with Jamie Vardy as it is, but the lads that come through or not necessarily been able to develop at one of the top academies, and they've dropped off and they've gone through the system, it seems to me that they have a better, I wouldn't say grounding, but it seems to me that playing that not that technically slower type of football, where it's developing so technically advanced footballers. Seamus Coleman, another one, he spoke about it when he went to Everton. He said, I was as far off as you can imagine technically from every player that I was playing against in training. I think Seamus was 20, was he 21 when he went over? He was playing with the under-18s. He said, I was absolutely nowhere near them. But what he's got, he's played men's football, he's played football that's competitive, and he's played football that's actually quite meaningful. And all of a sudden then he starts to develop and become our best player, obviously the captain. So that is the massive difference. Playing that men's football, playing that competitive football, I think it's better for players. And that's why League of Ireland continues to have and will continue to have, has had and will continue to have such a massive part of our players going forward, or play a massive part in our players going forward. 10
of the 11 players on the pitch at full time in the game at the weekend had played at lower level. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was the only one who'd come straight through the Chelsea academy to the senior international team. So, this is something that we should be kind of saying. The league is really important for players, particularly if you want to come back from England. Don't view it as a massive step down or a setback. Think of it as, I'm going to play football against men in a full-time competition, and that's your way to get back to wherever it is that you're going to go.
Even at the start of it, at the start of a youngster's career, though, Jay, 15, 16, don't necessarily see it as, I have to go to England. It's got to be the way forward for me. Yes, coming back, that's heartbreaking enough if they do go over and come back, because that does seem like it's the end of the road in many respects. But even the start of it, don't necessarily see, even when you're going over to England, don't necessarily see it as, I have to go to a Liverpool, Man United, a Chelsea, a Man City, one of the real top academies. It doesn't necessarily need to be that way. Going to a championship club or going to even a League 1 or 2 club might be better for career progression in the next 5 years of your career, up to 21, 22, because you may get first team football, which I feel is way, way better than playing academy football until you're 23, 24.
Just before we let you go, I must ask you about Brazil. They're up against Serbia this evening.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed qualification just yet. In fact, Brazil, Serbia and Switzerland could all finish first, second or third. So it's going to be a pretty interesting end to that group. But Kev, just kind of like a reminder of a stat that you could have read out before the tournament, just their form going into the World Cup 2018. They had lost one match in 21, Brazil that is, and in the build-up to the tournament, they scored 47 goals and conceded just 5 in those 21 matches. So it's pretty clear that Brazil have not lived up to that form whatsoever, but it would give them a lot of hope. It gives a lot of hope that there is a potential explosion coming, and you would still have them very, very close to favourites for this World Cup.
I would, yeah, definitely would have them favourites. The players that they've got within the side, individually, they're as good as anybody. It's just not probably worked collectively for them. That's probably why they go into this last game having to win. Serbia, no pushovers or anyone watched. I was at the Switzerland game. Serbia are a very, very good side. They're quite direct. They can play direct, but they've also got real good players behind them, behind Mitrovic, who plays up front for them. So I would imagine today, let's try and get it up to Mitrovic early. Let's try and put Brazil under pressure defensively. The players that they've got in behind are excellent. They've got creative players. So I wouldn't rule Serbia out qualifying today. But I just think Brazil, like Argentina last night, I mean, I'd pretty much ruled Argentina out because it was just prior to that Nigeria match when Nigeria won the last but one game, when it gave Argentina hope. I think Brazil tonight, much the same. You have to produce it. You've got to get out of the group. You've got to win the game, essentially. And I think they will do. I think they've got too much.
Kev, great stuff. Enjoy. Thanks a million.